6 years ago, I taught myself how to wire wrap, but now in 2025, I'm dedicated to learn how to be a metalsmith. So join me on my third day of my metalsmith class. This day, we learned how to use the little puncher tool to make a perfect circle, because on the first day, we learned how to cut out a circle with the saw, but this is way easier. And then we also learned how to use the drill so we can punch a hole through the center, because we're making like this little rounded bead thing. So I drilled a hole in the middle of both of the circles, and then next the teacher is showing us how to anneal the metal, which is basically softening the metal so it's easier to mold. And here's what mine looks like after being annealed. I don't know if I did it correctly, but whatever. And this is the final step for the project, where she soldered both of the pieces together. And here's what mine looks like after being annealed and also rounded with the little machine. And you can see the holes in the center that I drilled earlier. But this class was different from my last two classes because I had two projects to work on this day because I was a little bit behind, because from the previous class I took a little bit long to work on my ring. But for this project, we're learning how to sweat solder. So I have to cut out two little mountaintops and solder them onto a rectangle, as you see here. And you can tell these clips are a little bit out of order, but I took everything over to the soldering station and I soldered this piece. It was so much harder than I expected. I was so stressed out. And then this one here is the little dome one that we're making into a bead. This one was a little bit easier. I wasn't that stressed, but it was still a little difficult. So I basically learned how to solder on the seam, which was pretty cool if I ever want to make my own beads or something. But here's what my two projects look like. These were a little bit difficult. I don't know what we're doing in the next class, but I know we're getting closer to using sterling silver, which is exciting.